Take one. Merry Christmas. As we've been doing these series of holiday movies throughout the Advent season, we are concluding with our Christmas Eve and Christmas Day services. And Christmas Eve we focused on It's a Wonderful Life, that great classic movie from many years ago with Jimmy Stewart. And as we hear that great text for Christmas evening from Luke chapter 2, we hear about the shepherds out in the fields. And those shepherds were a portrait of you and me. They're a portrait of sinners because they were the ones who were lowly, the ones who were poor, and in fact they were outcasts. Outcasts in some regards from their families and in all regards to society. For they were nothing to the social climbers. They were nothing to the religious leaders. They were nothing to the political system. They were basically nothing to anybody who had anything of any kind of importance. But also they did nothing. They did nothing to attain the status. They did what they did. They took care of their sheep. And that's where we get that great story of them being out in the fields on that first Christmas evening. But in some regards, you might want to say that they were way out in left field because they had no clue how their life was about to change. Sort of like the movie It's a Wonderful Life. There you have George Bailey. He always wanted to do something. He wanted to do something big. He wanted to do something important. But it always seemed that he lived under somebody else's shadow. He lived under the shadow of his younger brother, where he finally was going to go off and see the world, but then his younger brother went off to war and became a war hero. And as he remained in the community, he continued to live under the shadow of the great financier of the community in Bedford Falls, Mr. Potter. And he never could compete his bank against what Mr. Potter was able to do. And then there was that fateful day that his Uncle Billy went to take the deposit to put into the bank. And due to a costly error, there was a grim result. And so the next scene you see George Bailey coming into his home. And you can see that something was wrong, the way he looked and his attitude. And somebody asked him, "What's up?" And he said, "Another tussle with old man Potter." Sort of like us. We have a daily tussle, not with old man Potter, but with old man Satan. And just like old man Potter in the movie, Satan wants to keep us living in his slums. He wants us to keep living in the despair and the heartache and the hopelessness of our sinful lives and our sinful world. And it seems like, as George Bailey said, we're panicking and he's not. We try to resolve things. We try to solve things under our own efforts, under our own powers. But it always seems fruitless. And sometimes we become like the people in the movie, that it's just easier to do the same old, same old. Just live our life, even if it's under the thumb of old man Potter, or especially under the thumb of old man Satan. We just keep doing the same old, living in a rut. But as a friend of mine says, a rut is nothing but a shallow grave. That's the first take.